So today I am making a very beautiful, delicious, and flavorful halal vegetarian soup. I already sauteed the vegetable base for the vegetables, and I started browning up the chicken sausage. I will be adding this bag of kale that's already cut up because it's easier to use the bag. I'm going to cut up the bella mushrooms and the cherry tomatoes, and I will show you how I do that. So here are the cherry tomatoes cut in quarters. And I do it that way because I want all the flavor and juice to be added, incorporated. And there's the bella mushrooms. And then there is all of the chicken sausage sauteed. I added the kale on the top after all the vegetables were sauteed together. And now I'm just mixing it all in so that the kale can also steam in with the vegetables. Now I did use some halal butter to saute my vegetables, as well as a little bit of grapeseed oil. And I like to use that combo because it allows the vegetables to saute really nice and beautifully together. And I just love the combinations of vegetables that I used. I used red onions, garlic, all of course fresh, red, orange, and yellow and green, I believe, bell peppers. Of course, you saw the bella mushrooms that I like to wash and cut up myself, and the cherry tomatoes on the vine. Very nice and plump and juicy. And as you can see, the kale is really sauteing really quickly and wilting down. It doesn't take that long for kale to cook, and that's why I did the kale last. So next I am making the broth base for the soup, and I use lots of water for it. I think about 6 cups of water, crystal geyser water, and I add those two bases, roasted garlic and vegetarian vegetable, and I create my own broth, and then I just add that broth to the pot of sauteed vegetables, and I continue to let it all cook together on a very low heat. And this is how I get the full bodied flavor for the soup, is because I add each ingredient one by one and allow all of those flavors to marry and mix together so beautifully and slowly that it just really makes a full, flavorful, full body flavor, pop in your mouth, and you can absolutely taste each and every vegetable that was added in the soup. I also added some celery and carrots, I believe. So I didn't show you guys that, but I did chop up some organic carrots and some organic celery in the beginning process with the onions and garlic and bell peppers. So now I am showing you the seasoning selection that I chose to add for my next component, which is going to be the ground turkey. I'm up to cooking, so I stayed up all night working overtime, but that chicken sausage are browned. Now I'm making the turkey, ground turkey, and I'm adding some fresh sea salt, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and I already made my soup. I made it from scratch, of course. even the sauce, the juice, the everything, and use that real butter and some halal
You can
ghee.
see that the garlic slices are kind of like floating there at the top. Everything is looking really nice and incorporated. That juice is really beautiful. And I am adding the ground turkey. And I believe that's a pound of ground turkey. And I'm just mixing that in together. Again, notice that I am doing one component at a time. I seasoned the meat really well so that this meat itself has its own flavor. And notice that I only use salt on the meat so far because that base broth that I use has its own salt in it. And I don't want the soup to be over salty. And the butter has a little salt in it. And now I'm adding the chicken sausage, the browned chicken sausage, and then just stirring that up. And I mean, this soup is just literally mouth watering. If your mouth is not watering at this point, listen. When I created this for the first time, I was just like, wow, Tiff, this is literally a heartwarming, belly satisfying, mouth watering meal that my children really, really like. And it's hard to please little kids. And even my 3-year old loves it. And my daughter was talking about it today. She was like, Mom, you really need to make that soup again. And I said, let me go ahead and upload this video and show my people in case you guys also are looking for something different, something special, and a very hearty meal from scratch to make for your family. So I let it marinate and just, slow cook and simmer for, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes, right? And then I turned it off and just continued to let it sit. So this pot really, really holds in a lot of heat. I hope you like this meal.